Hello everyone, I'm Paul Noir Grimes. Within the last 15 years, we've seen Christian Bale and Ben Affleck don the cape and cowl as the Caped Crusader. Now we're getting a new adaptation with Robert Pattinson joining the ranks, and it's unlike any other Batman movie that's come before. The Batman is playing exclusively in theaters, and I want to talk about it. This is Paul's trip to the movies. Director Matt Reeves quickly lays out the grisly tone by introducing audiences to the Riddler, who's killed the mayor on Halloween night. Paul Dano inhabits the Riddler, modeling him after serial killers like the Zodiac Killer. He leaves behind a message, no more lies, and a card for the Batman with his signature ciphers inside. Gotham has become this seedy place of lies and cover-ups at the hands of corrupt politicians and police officers, and the Riddler wants to expose all of them. Now, this happens on the 20th anniversary of Thomas Wayne's death, and Bruce Wayne is at a crossroads as to whether his alter ego Batman is really making a difference in society. He decides to work with pickpocket Selina Kyle, played by Zoe Kravitz, in order to get his way into the underworld, led by crime boss Carmine Falcone, played by John Turturro. The film also stars Colin Farrell as the Penguin, Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon, and Andy Serkis as trusty butler Alfred. Now, director Matt Reeves co-wrote the screenplay with Peter Craig, and they've gone back to this notion of Batman as a detective. They've given the film this film noir style, with Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne providing the film with that classic noir voiceover, setting the overall tenor of the film. This Gotham is murky, rainy, and this notion of exposing corrupt politicians and police feels all too timely and relevant. Even the big climax felt a little too on the nose. It was evident within the first 10 minutes that this was not a Zack Snyder or a Christopher Nolan or Tim Burton Batman movie. There's a brutality to it, like going inside a crime scene with his ticking clock if you don't capture the killer before he strikes again. Now, Reeves removes any sort of cartoony or comic book feel and places Catwoman, the Penguin, and the Riddler in a very realistic society. Paul Dano's incredible performance as the Riddler will just send a chill down your spine. He joins the ranks of Heath Ledger, Jack Nicholson, and Michelle Pfeiffer as iconic Batman villains. Matt Reeves crafts the suspense with so much unease that the Riddler scenes become this nail-biter of who's in charge. Robert Pattinson's take on Bruce Wayne and Batman is one of a hero starting out, trying to find his voice and place in society, as he's not quite the wealthy playboy running an empire that we're used to, nor is he this invisible force to anyone that crosses him. He's bruised, battered, and takes a few tumbles along the way. Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz bring some sexual heat between Batman and Catwoman as she charts her own conflicted course in the movie, at times undermining him for her own motives. Now, playing throughout all of this is Michael Giacchino's brilliant score. There are notes of Danny Elfman and Hans Zimmer thrown in for a kind of cohesive Batman aura, but it amps up that overall unsettling atmosphere the director Matt Reeves wants with his version of Batman. Now, this film may push 3 hours, and yet I was never bored with the high stakes at hand. It's a film that I haven't stopped thinking about, as Matt Reeves really blew me away and just surpassed the already high expectations I had for him and what he'd do with these characters. I'm giving The Batman 4.5 out of 5 ticket stubs. If you like my review today, click subscribe on my YouTube channel. I got some of the movie reviews, as well as my appearances on Twin Cities Live. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, like my YouTube channel, subscribe, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Who has been your favorite Batman, and what is your overall favorite Batman movie? I'd love to hear from you. Mine is The Dark Knight. Don't forget to go to my website, paulstriptothemovies.com, for all sorts of Batman reviews and an old ranking I did a few years ago of the Batman movies. Thank you so much for watching my review of The Batman. This is Paul's Trip to the Movies.